just to set up my camera and stuff like I normally do, you know what I mean? Like, make sure it looks how I want it to look. Hey, everybody, look at what time it is. Okay, it's 2:48. Let me eat my pizza right quickly. How's everybody doing this afternoon? We on live. We are live in the studio today. Yeah, we are. Did your crew tell you they was coming? Oh, okay. It was some young people that came in. I don't know who they were. On the... Alright. Hey everybody, how's everybody doing this afternoon? We're live and we're in the studio today. God is good. We got here and yeah, we got here. Y'all funny. I'm gonna invite, are they? Talking to Miriam?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Did you tell them where to go? We got a few moments here. Let me get their names. I'm going to introduce them. Yeah, I'm going to introduce them before we even get started. Hey, everybody, what's going on this afternoon? I see a lot of y'all are trying to log in to me today. I hope this Wi-Fi sustains us. I hope it does. Anyway. While they're going into the dialogue for today, I might be able to eat this piece of pizza that just got cooked because I told him I can't eat no trash. I need to eat something that is, you know, right now. Oh, let me make sure I...
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hello.
At WRFU.
How are you?
Champaign, Illinois.
I'm Mika.
Nice to meet you. I'm Brad.
Hey, Brad.
Mika, you said?
Yeah.
Lexi. Nice to meet you.
Lexi. I'm going to introduce you guys.
Gorgeous nails.
Thank you. I'm such
journey
that
that's
extra
taken,
queen.
trying to establish
Perfect.
reparations for the African American community in Champaign. It's going to be beautiful just to hear some understanding on the journey of this.
Brad.
And we hope
Brad, Lexi.
to receive as much information that can possibly be led to allow others to follow and try to do the same thing.
We got a
everywhere
couple of
across the
guests
world.
in studio
How you
today.
guys doing?
Good, you?
Great. Thank you for coming.
Absolutely, yeah.
My name is Draper Leverson. This is Tamika Light. You know, in the afternoon would be light.
That's my radio show.
And what we do here is just allow voices to come out and share things from the community, and to just, you know, let us know we're here, and to let everybody's voice be heard. Thank you. Could you give us a little example of what your services is providing, and you know what's the mission and everything behind what you guys are doing?
Yeah, so we're members of the Party for Socialism and Liberation, and we have branches nationwide that work to organize the working class and various oppressed nationalities and so on. And we're working towards the dismantling of the capitalist system and building a socialist society in which there is a government that is of, by, and for the working class, and an economy that is planned to take care of the needs of the people and the planet.
Wow.
Right now, we live under a dictatorship of the billionaire class. People
Yes, we
who
do.
will spend an infinite amount of money going to war against Iran, or funding genocide, or funding ICE terror in the streets.
Yes.
But somehow, there's just never money for taking care of people in the hospital. Everybody needs to go to the hospital at some point. Healthcare should be treated as a human right.
Yes.
Housing, food, education.
Absolutely.
None of these things are publicly funded. And so these are the types of things that we work for around the nation. And specifically in the Central Illinois branch, one of the things that we've been working on lately is is achieving reparations for Black folks in Champaign-Urbana and throughout Champaign County. And so we attended Champaign County board meetings with the intent of pressuring them to form a reparations committee so that they can do research into the harms that Black folks have faced here and go about achieving a reparations program, whether it be direct cash payments or a housing initiative, education funding, that type of thing. Evanston, Illinois is a good example. They actually have a housing initiative. They have direct cash payments up to $25,000. So we went to the Champaign County Board, and we went to the Urbana City Council and the Champaign City Council. So far, the county board and the city of Urbana are on board. We're still working on Champaign. They're a little bit, a little bit harder to get going.
See, that's what we're looking for, to try to get a lot more people to just really put boots to the ground and make some things happen, because without really stepping into these and what needs to be done, great minds to really just want to have a better world. And these people are making a great example of some of the steps that could be done in practice. So please take notes as we have this segment of the show. We would hope that you guys really have your listening ears open and
Take
your
notes.
heart definitely really ready to embrace some of the things that they're going to share with us this evening.
Take notes.
So please take notes, because we got to start somewhere. And like I say, to be here in Champaign and just to even hear this is definitely, I know that God works in his own way to allow people to just be of service, you know, because we're here to serve each other and be servitudes of God and the Most High and try to help each other. And that's our mission in life. Don't never forget that, because anything we do have, we can never take with us. So let's be the best service and just be good people, because at the end of the day, you'd rather have love, joy, and the things that we're missing today still active, and knowing that we're still ready to have another chance to live. Maybe Most High might spare us and allow us to be on earth a little bit more.
Honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
Check that red mic for me. I'm going to check and see if it's on.
Which one?
That one right there. Just tap on it.
So when the show starts, am I gonna have time to give like a similar spiel to what I just gave?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is actually,
We got an hour-long show. You
So
can
we just
use.
gave you, like I say, just so we can have a brief what you're gonna
Yeah.
say.
Okay, yeah. So that was basically
absolutely.
the first.
It was a highlight.
Yeah.
This is your show.
We got an hour-long show. So we do the show every Thursday if you want to come back. If you want to talk about anything else, because we do talk about relationships, we talk about community, we talk about whatever. So this is my show. You know, I'm on the board here as well, the IMC. But if you've never been here, this is a great place for like activities, events on the weekend. We got 58 bands coming to perform this year, like we did last year. It was huge. He's performed here before. So, like, you can do pretty much anything. We've got an artist here who has the African American Negro Museum that's here inside of the IMC, and she's a huge contributor to that as well. So, I just talked to Deshaun. He was just outside, the mayor of Urbana. So, you know what? I was explaining who you guys were, and he was like, well, have me on. I would love to have that conversation. So, we got a plan for this, guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Lexi and Brad, I'm sorry, but you done wrapped into something I don't think you're fully aware of.
Well, that's excellent. And we have various projects going on all at the same time, so there will definitely be opportunities where we can come back and talk about them. So.
Oh, that's so good. I love the fact of what you're doing, period, because...
We also have an event to plug that we have.
Good.
It'll be on Wednesday the 29th at 5:30 at the Douglas Grants Library.
Okay. We'll tell them to check it out.
Yeah.
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 We don't prompt. We suggest.
Yeah.
So we can tell them, go check you guys out on this date. We can do all of that. That'll be perfectly fine. We got about 3 minutes until we go live in the studio. That's Mary. But we got about 3 minutes, y'all, before we go live in the studio today. Let me invite a few folks on.
Yeah, I don't think we have like enough content for a full hour.
Oh no, we don't. No.
Yeah.
Go. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
And then,
as much
so
as you need.
In between like various topics. How long will we be speaking at a time? And like will we be talking for like a few minutes and then music, and then we talk for a few minutes? And
No music.
Okay.
We're just a full talk show.
Okay.
So we'll have brief pauses. We'll laugh and joke a little bit. I mean, all of it is captured.
Mm-hmm.
So, one thing we don't do here is cuss.
Yeah.
Please, no
Yeah.
profanity.
Fair enough.
I will get extremely taken care of, but they will ban me. So we're not trying to go for that. But no, you can talk about. We all do. Which one? We all do. Trust me when I tell you. Hold on, I still got to turn some other stuff off before we flick all the way over. Hold on a minute. We got about 2 more minutes and then I'll turn everything back on. I know. It's not. I got to turn this off first and then it'll probably catch. But yeah, so we'll have a few questions. You guys can ask questions as well. Go back and forth. Just give us a little dialogue. Let me know, especially when we get towards the end and you feel like it's the end, you know, like this is the last segment that I'll talk about, or like, you know, give me a heads up and we'll go from there. Okay? When you're ready to get out, we'll get you. Okay?
Yeah, I think maybe our event promotion will be the last thing.
Okay. That'll be perfect. But, you know, it doesn't have to be a long time. It doesn't have to be a short time. Okay, it's 2:59. Let's turn off and let's turn up for a minute. I'm trying to pick it up. All right, guys, we finna get ready to get on. Hello. Thanks so much for tuning in to me this afternoon. You're on live with Afternoons with Delight. Like I said before, thanks so much for tuning in to me, everybody. It's been a minute since we've been in studio. But today, let me introduce who I have here. But before we do that, I gotta do what I gotta do at the top of the hour. Each hour I come on live with you, I go over the legal ID. And we do this at the top of the hour. WRFU is an open forum for the Urbana-Champaign community. Views expressed are those of the speaker and guests, and they are not intended to represent WRFU, UCIMC. How's everybody doing today? Before we get started, I'm going to introduce a few people. We got a few guests today in the studio as well with us. But let me start out with Draper. He's here.
How everybody doing this afternoon? You know, peace and blessings, and I'm hoping everybody having a beautiful afternoon and plan to have one for this evening.
Wonderful. We appreciate you just coming on in here. And we've got a couple of guests in the back of the studio today. Brad and Lexi are here, right?
Yes.
All right. Lexi, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit for the community for us?
Hi, I'm Lexi. I have been in Champaign for 15 years now. I'm a recent member of the Party for Socialism and Liberation, which we're here to talk about a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Brad?
I'm Brad. I've been living in Champaign for about 4 years now, and I joined the party about 2 years ago.
Wow.
Appreciate you.
So before we even get started and start talking to Lexi and Brad, Lexi and Brad are here with, can you tell us your organization and what you're actually trying to do for the people?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're members of the Party for Socialism and Liberation. We have branches all throughout the country, and the goal of our party is to help lead a revolutionary movement to overthrow the capitalist white supremacist system and replace it with a socialist society in which there's a government that is of, by, and for the working class, and an economy that is planned to help take care of the needs of the people on the planet. And so right now we're living under the dictatorship of the rich and the powerful. They have an infinite amount of money to go to war with Iran, to fund ICE terror in the streets, to fund the genocide in Gaza, but somehow there is just never enough money for healthcare and housing and clean food and water and education. And so we view that these things should be treated as human rights, not as commodities to make people rich. And so here in the Central Illinois branch, we've been doing a number of things. Recently, we've been working on getting reparations committees formed in Champaign County and in the cities of Urbana and Champaign. So the idea of a reparations committee is we go to the county board, we go to the city of Urbana, we go to the city of Champaign, and we convince them to get a reparations committee formed to look into the harms that Black folks in CU have faced, to then use that information to form the best reparations program they can form. An example of this would be Evanston, Illinois, who has a reparations program as well. And they have up to $25,000 for housing initiatives for Black folks in Evanston. And so that's one of the things that we've been doing lately in Central Illinois. Since our party was founded in 2004, reparations have been a part of our party platform. And the way that we would do reparations under socialism would be that we would nationalize the top 100 industries and use the wealth of the billionaire class who benefits the most from exploitation, especially the disproportionate exploitation of Black working class people, and use that money to fund reparations programs.
Wow.
Wow, that was a great idea. I mean, just to even be at that state where we taking a push for that, so, you know, to just actually make that something that's realistic, because it just, all it takes is people really having a true heart to say, hey, let here. Because at the end of the day, like I said, we can't take nothing with us anyway, but to live comfortable and to be able to survive while you are here, that's you should be grateful to know that you help somebody to live like that. I think that's a blessing that the Most High will give, to say that you had heart to make sure somebody else had food, a home, a good job, or opportunities to do things without having to be afraid, you know. Because when most people get afraid and don't have the support, they get discouraged and they give up. So when we give up and go to a dark place, you know what it brings: drugs, drinking, miserable mindset. I don't believe I'm worth living. Just to think like that as a human being, to feel that nobody loves you and nobody, when you know people are good people. Yeah, we have knuckleheads, absolutely. But when you're not taught the correct ways of engagement, the fair way to say, hey, is it okay to speak? Is it okay to learn from, you know, hey, and other just actually communicating and network with all cultures and sharing, because you know it's different dynamics. Okay, all right, we don't do that, but I know how to do this. It's a skill that you can learn, because we're supposed to teach each other, not just be around each other to cause chaos. That means we're not figuring out what we need to do. What is our purpose? What makes you just go to want to do chaotic things? So when you don't know nothing, you can't do nothing. So we have to teach education, the proper education that really helps people succeed, you know, because when we got so many people behind not having faith in education because they ain't seeing nobody winning. So it's like showing like, hey, why should I go waste all my years in school if I can never be prosperous? Because the whole goal was to finish school and you should be able to have a nice, stable career, something going for yourself. And it has to match that, because enough is enough. We shouldn't have this great country filled with a lot of people not being able to be productive, you know, without it costing you more than you making.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So let me ask you, Lexi and Brad, how did you even find out that this was available here in the community? Because like if I was a student, or if I was an older person, if I was just looking to get involved, where would I go?
So we are working with the Champaign-Urbana Reparations Coalition.
Okay.
They have been for, I believe it's between 2 and 3 years they established in Champaign. They have a website. I think it's just curc.org. CURC.
Okay.
For Champaign-Urbana Reparations Coalition.
Okay.
And it is headed by a local in the community who has a lot of experience himself and has worked with the people in Evanston to learn from them. Dr. Jeffrey Trask, he's phenomenal, but he and the coalition have really been leading this, and PSL, we got involved about 2 years ago, so we have been fully supporting, helping with maybe, you know, outreach or whatever.
Wow.
But the coalition themselves, you would get involved with them. They have so much information on their website,
Okay.
and that's just one of those things that I feel like you would probably just need to like Google local organizations if you don't even know where to start before that.
Right.
Okay, that's great. Do you get a lot of backlash? Like, what is the support in the community? Do you get a lot of backlash from being involved with this, or are people generally supportive, especially if you're talking about Caucasian people? Like, because I want to know what that looks like for you guys, because I know that has to be some kind of struggle.
Yeah, I would say overwhelmingly, there's a surprising amount of support.
Really?
One of the things that we do to promote events that we're holding and to have more face-to-face conversations with people is we go canvassing and we just go knocking on their doors and have a conversation with them.
Right.
And that has really sort of allowed us to have more like in-depth conversations with people and sort of see where they're coming from and like what affects them the most, how like the lack of affordability, how the lack of reparations affects people the most. And so I would say that like overwhelmingly we've gotten a really positive sort of vibe from people.
That's good. That's good. That's really surprising. I'm really surprised just to even hear that. Because, and it's not like we haven't dealt with, or, in this society that we're living in, people haven't dealt with racism, but especially when you're talking about giving some type of fairness to people of minorities or people of color, that's where I'm at. Because, we're not looking to take any more than anybody else. What we're actually looking for is justice and equality.
Right.
And as far-fetched as that might seem, like we're invading some type of territory, we're not. We've been productive in society. The mass majority of people that I know have always worked, have always contributed, but seem like they cannot get that leverage to get ahead because, unfortunately, in the Black community, one misstep will put you basically homeless. That one infraction, and it's like we don't have these share partners where we have a lot of people, a lot of industries, banking systems. We don't even have those relationships established to where Black people could eventually just migrate themselves on and getting some type of social help, and if you're getting social help, you're getting food stamps, you're getting public assistance. But what does that look like if you've been a person who's worked forever and you have the work history, you have the credit build up, but you don't have everything else necessarily that you need? And that's where I find we're having the most difficulty, because even though it seems like we're being put on a playing field that's fair, it's not fair. This is the most unfair that I've seen in my life. Because I'm living it. I'm a living testament of what the government did and did not do, and what the society did not and do and did do for me, right? So I'm just kind of wondering, like, for the most part, I'm wondering how many people are really considering reparations as being like something that could possibly potentially happen for us. And with you guys' information, do you see this as being some type of thing that it will stick, it will actually work for us, they will actually approve it, or are you still on the fence about seeing the migration of people actually believing that this would work, this is something that's necessary and needed? Where are you at with that? Do you believe it'll work, or do you believe it'll work after time, or do you believe like this is where we're in for a fight?
I think that there are multiple things true at the same time. I think that with reparations, our view is that socialism and liberation are inherently intertwined, and that a full reparations program for the entire country would require a socialist society as well, so that we don't end up in a situation where white landlords say, a lot of my Black tenants just got like reparations checks.
Right.
I think their rent just went up a little bit, right? So we view socialism and liberation as being inherently intertwined. In terms of the immediate struggle for like Champaign-Urbana and Champaign County with like direct cash payments and stuff, I think that is a real possibility, and I really do think that it will be a fight. It will need to be something that everybody gets involved in.
Right.
Because the ruling class and their politician puppets are not going to just give people reparations. They're not going to do things without pressure on them and making, feeling that energy from us. And so it will require a mass movement, but it is absolutely possible. And I think one of the things that helps get people on board who are probably initially, like at first, kind of skeptical about reparations is to not frame it as like just giving black people money. Because if a white working class person who is not the most politically educated hears that, they might be like, I'm living paycheck to paycheck. What's this about?
Right.
But it's important to frame the reparations struggle from the perspective of like cash payments, especially as unpaid labor that working class people throughout history have not been given, and that they are owed, and they have been owed for hundreds of years.
Right.
And there are other types of reparations programs around the world. For example, Jewish people in Germany today do still receive reparations checks, and that's a good thing. We're not against reparations for other oppressed groups. We're not just focusing on the black community specifically, but the reason why the black community has been the focus lately is because there just has not been a nationwide reparations push. And so that's sort of where we're coming from on this angle, is that these are oppressed working class people who are owed this money. It is not a handout. It is something that they deserve.
Wonderful. I mean, just to hear it coming from a different angle and with different people
Yeah, I mean,
is so critical.
I would just to even know that this would make you want to prepare. If it was available for them, you have to take some classes, because if you giving this money or whatever, please know what to do with it, because it's not nobody's fault that if you get what you ask for, just say something. All right, you should be able to be intelligent enough to know about investing. Don't just realistic stuff, because there got to be some conversations behind what people look as what is money, and then what you're talking about your future and what's need to be done. So it's some stuff that really needs to be adjusted before you just hand any type of anything to somebody who's not mentally stable, because that's a struggle today. Mental illness, trauma. We got to get back to healing so you can think clearly to know and be prepared, instead of taking it as if you got to go out here and catch up for old times or things you didn't. And that has to be taught to really be humble, to adjust and learn something, especially when it wasn't correctly taught as you were growing up. And imagine teaching some people who at a certain age that's stuck in their ways. Oh my God, that's a whole nother form of counseling and things that's needed. But just to know that, like you said, that it's available and it's in the makings and it's work. So
absolutely.
I would say that if people are hearing that of a different culture, please prepare yourself, because if you do get anything, what you gonna do with it? So that's my biggest spiel. Like, hey, they talking about it, guys, but you need to be prepared how to handle it, because just as fast as you get it, you can be right back in the same position.
Right.
So make sure you know what you're asking for, because you just might get it. So if you practice and prepare yourselves for change, and that's all around, because if you want change, you got to start from the inside. And because if you're not clean on the inside, you'll not really be able to handle what's going on here in this physical world, because it's so much that's distracting, that's allowing people to get caught up in situations and stuff that there's no comeback. We're playing that so much is gonna get woken behind the spirit, behind people out here walking and just dealing with so much and don't have an outlet to talk to. We don't know what we're dealing with out here because we're so lost. Let's find some common ground and build, because too much negativity behind when we know we're all just trying to survive. And we forgot that's community. That's the community that needs to build and work together. We all just workers and, got small businesses, but we're not the richest people. We need to figure out how to take care of us, because without us, nothing else will survive. Remember, everybody's dollar, everybody's paychecks bills the rich ones. So we got to figure out how to, slow it down so we can have some control and stop allowing people to manipulate us behind just work, behind just almost overgiving things, because without us forgetting how to work together, we'll get so trapped in forgetting to lose things, because you can lose your soul trying to chase so much stuff because it brings failure. So many things that the spirit and heart ain't trained to really deal with. That's why it hurts so bad. Betrayal, anything can fit in. We got so much triggers out here. We need to figure out how to get back to accepting each other's help, accepting each other's different opinions, different mindsets, and figuring out how to get to solutions, because we all know how to start the problem. You know, so it takes everyone, the community, Champaign, Denver, anything that's willing to build, because we need great minds from everywhere. If you willing to make the world better and you can come through a few miles to help and assist, we need to get to work, because we're losing our children. We're losing our children behind them not having the proper guidance and a different change of mind type of people that know how to influence them a little bit better.
Right.
We don't let them just get influenced by something that we ain't got no control. You can reel and swipe up, but I don't know what my kid gonna see. Cause we showing everything that ain't got parental discretion advised. They ain't gonna show you all that.
Right.
Because a kid seeing a scene or something. If we showing a kid negativity out here, what do you think the world's going to be in his eyes? How could I come to the real world and operate with you? Because I'm living a fantasy land. I'm thinking it's this way, and it's poison.
Right. Well, we're at 3:19 right now, so we don't want to take up Lexi and Brad's whole complete day. Do you want to ask anything else?
No, I just appreciate you guys coming in. You said you had an event that you want to announce, or you still had some more that you want to finish?
Yeah, we have some information on
please,
Black
I
August,
know.
and then we have an event to promote as well.
Oh, yeah. Talk about Black August, please. What is that?
Yeah, so Black August was started in 1979 outside of the San Quentin State Prison in California. And it was started after a decade of heightened state repression against political activists, specifically Black activists and Black revolutionaries. And it was created by people who were currently incarcerated in the prisons and also formerly incarcerated activists who, you know, have experienced that and were trying to fight against it. And it's to honor the sacrifices and the advances that the Black revolutionaries have made specifically during that decade-long period, but you know, over history. It's in August, is Black August, because there were multiple, like George Jackson and Joseph Jackson both passed away or were killed during August. August is also the month that the first African slaves stepped foot on the continent. And I think it was 1691 or 1619. That was the first month. So there's just a lot of symbolism behind, and that's just a few things of the, you know, large symbolism behind Black August. But the, the main themes of Black August are study, fast, and train, with the goal of being to continue the legacy of resistance. So it's not like a celebratory, like, oh, let's, you know, watch a video. It's very much like, okay, I'm giving up, you know, being on my phone, and instead I'm going to read this person's memoir, or I'm giving up, you know, playing video games, and I'm going to go and, you know, work with my local community instead. So it's really about sacrifice and personal education so that we can continue to fight the system and, you know, work to make a more just system for everybody, but specifically our Black community, our communities of color, our you know, LGBTQ community, just all these communities who are so heavily discriminated against under this capitalist system.
Yeah, it's just heartbreaking, just the difficult areas in life that we have to protect ourselves from just trying to be yourselves and live, and just, you know, and you have to explain something, or you know, to some people that just see out their eyes, why should I hate you or don't like you because whatever your spirit is, you know what I'm saying? Accept that, just, you know, let people live and enjoy life, you know, because at the end of the day, you only can be accountable for yourself. So, you know, to just always have somebody's opinion beating you up, you know, you know, it's just got to change the mindset. Because like I say, if you can point one finger at somebody, it's got to be 10 pointed back at you. So, and none of us like to be criticize, but we love to criticize. It touches the spirit when you start to reach and hit for things about somebody else, you know.
Understand.
Because to look at yourself is the truest test you'll ever have that you have to learn how to pass. Because you're going to always go through some things. Because most of our struggles is really mental, what we think of ourselves or what somebody else's opinion that can influence us to just really forget who you are. So, you know, just practicing every day. Like you said, that was a good strategy of sacrifice. You say, what would you give up for, like you say, a book? But this book was probably really the one we discussed I wanted to read. They like, well, Drake, for you to have to get this book, you got to give us something. I'm like, you grabbing the phone, so I know I'll be shaking like I'll probably pass out when you pull it out of my hand. Oh, Lord. But, you know, that's good techniques to practice because just to learn how to get rid of bad habits. And you got to know how to trick yourself to do these things and come up with it in a fun way that everybody do it at least a nice amount. I think that would be a start, definitely, to get, you know, practice new ways of, you know, living in this earth.
And
What?
and
Go
one
ahead.
other, which is very helpful because it is really hard for us to do these things on our own, especially in the system where we have to work such long hours and you come home and you have to take care of your kids and feed yourself and your kids, and you know, you really don't have much time for yourself or for the things you care about. And we are gonna do a Black August event, which is focused on learning and education. We don't have the date scheduled yet, but one way to really help encourage yourself is to find a group and to, you know, commit with a group, because when someone else is there holding you accountable and you want to, you know, you don't want to disappoint them, it's a lot easier to make yourself do the stuff or to
So
find the time.
basically, that can be a
Yeah,
little
that's
social
awesome. Yeah, that's
task
what I'm
when you're
saying.
meeting new people. Hey guys, we're gonna commit to this. So when we do get together, we're gonna give up our phones for, you know what I'm saying, just that can be little practices to start different ways to get better attention out of people, so you can, you know, really get to understanding and learning each other.
Right.
If
Yeah.
we can see each other clearly and listen, we might can get a better understanding. So that is a good something that can probably go around, even in like schools. You know, the school system, that will work really good, especially if you had something to trade with the kid that they really wanted, but they had to give up something for it. That's cool. That's
It is. It is. So would you be willing to come back and talk with us? You know, not frequently, but, you know, a little infrequently, every few weeks or so.
Yeah, absolutely. This is great. We're incredibly appreciative for the platform.
Thank you.
We need the platform, so we're building it with you. That's fine. We've been doing this for about almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So you know what? I'm just like, the more information we can get out. One thing I know, they might not ever show up online, but I had Tony's producer listening to me in California and called into the station. So I'm just going to tell you, we don't know who's watching us ever. We don't know who's listening to us ever. It's so crazy, but we'll hear the backlash, or we'll hear, you know, from the community. I really like those guests that were on this time, whatever. Wi-Fi is terrible in here. I don't know what's really going on, but we have the complications like everybody else does. But we love the youthful freshness of you guys
Absolutely.
coming in. And this is a topic that the community, and most of us, because we talk about the unfairness and the injustice. I've been a special education teacher. We both work in social services. We were just housing families that were in crisis, homeless families over the winter. We were housing homeless men over the winter as well. So if you've heard anything on the news regarding those two things, he or I were involved in it.
That's amazing.
So we've got staples here in the community. I've been working here for about 18 years. Dre's been here about 4 or 5 years now. So we've been at CU at home. We've been at the local. We've been in this community. So we know quite a few people. I just told you I ran into the mayor. We're having conversations. You know what I mean? And I'm telling you, so we know the people that are out here, and we know that they love this. They would love to participate, anything. So right now, we're talking about the future. I know you're going to end with this last event that's coming up. But for people right now who want to get active, who want to get involved, what should they do besides going on the CU reparations? Or is that what they should do? Could they reach out to you? Do they reach out to somebody else in the chapter, in the group, in the right? So let us know that. And then we can end with the event that's coming up, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, CURC is, of course, they're a separate organization from us. We work with them a lot, and we plug them deeply. But
Right.
we are PSL, the Party for Socialism and Liberation. And you can follow us on social medias. It's PSL-CI.CIL. PSL.CIL for Central Illinois.
Okay.
Thank you.
So you can follow us on socials and keep up to date with any events we're doing in the community, or you know, if there's any ways you can help with us. And then you can also, if you want to fully get involved with the party, you can go to pslweb.org/join.
Okay.
And that will get you information so you can learn a little bit about before you sign up. And it is a bit of a time commitment, and of course not everybody has that much time.
Exactly.
So if you're a little bit strapped for time, but this is still something you care passionately about, you can join the Action Network, and that is where the larger organization sends out resources monthly. You're invited to calls and like video calls and stuff, and you're still participating and supporting, but just not, maybe the 10 hours a week or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, the Action Network is a great way to sort of stay up to date with some of the events that we're holding, as well as our social media platforms.
Okay, that is great. We're going to get your information. And also, when we post this video up, we're not friends on Facebook. We might end up being before you leave. But, yeah, so we can tag you in this post. And we can also add that information up underneath the bottom.
Thank you.
So we do that every single time that you come on. We push that post out. Sometimes those posts stay up for weeks at a time.
Awesome.
This is just what we're doing, right? But we really appreciate you guys coming. And lastly, we're going to end with the event that's about to come up, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So it'll be Wednesday, the 29th at 5:30 p.m. and it'll be at the Douglas Branch Library of the Champaign Library. And we will be discussing the various aspects of the affordability crisis, and we want to hear from people what is affecting them the most, what types of political organization and events motivate them the most, so that they can get more heavily involved. There's also a QR code on the flyers that we have been canvassing with, and that we'll have at the forum itself, so that people can sort of start thinking about what types of political organizations they want to do, what type of events get them the most motivated, how the affordability crisis is affecting them the most. And so that'll be at 5:30 on the 29th at the Douglas Branch Library in Champaign.
All right, great. Thank you, guys. I think we might be appearing on that one. But I really appreciate you guys coming out, making yourselves available for us. I really appreciate that. I know that everybody's time is a constraint at these times. It's just one of those things.
Well, thank you for having us on. It was great.
We appreciate you, honestly. We really do.
I met you at the park. I was like, come on the show, just when you let me know your mission and what you was on, we definitely got to be supportive of that.
Right, absolutely.
Only the right thing to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing this platform with us. Yeah, and letting us talk to the community like this.
Absolutely. Let me get your information before you guys leave. But what you want to end up talking about for the rest of the show? Because, we still got a little time. I'm finna get this book over here, and then you can
Well,
Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
I guess we could switch this stuff.
No, we don't have anything.
No, just get in there so they can stand there.
I was just trying to, can't have air space. Okay, you gotta talk. Okay. But yeah, I was just trying to get a book together so I can get their information before we end up moving on. I'm trying to do the rest of the show today. But today's Thursday. I heard that, we're going to have some torrential weather next week. We got a little break today. We got a little bit of something.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, that's, like I said, it's just to even see that, some steps, at least in this area.
I got my phone, but, it's an actual use right now.
So, do you want names? And,
Please, yes.
In socials for our group? Okay.
Anything that I can post and put online? What?
I ain't know, do you know that? So want to start going in, speaking on other topics behind just
No, I was just getting their information
the
before they leave.
newscast from with some of the situations of, you know,
Yeah.
that's continuous.
I mean, this is what we're at. We're still at war.
Yeah.
I heard that we just gave over $1 billion. Isn't that what I just said? Okay, we just gave over $1 billion for the war to continue.
Right.
Even though we're still fighting for the basic bare minimum for people. I'm looking at news reports and seeing that, you know, some of a few soldiers had passed away. But I really think that number was not superly consistent with what I saw on television and the news reports. So, you know, I listened to Donald Trump and, you know, really even hated to say that name. Dang, I hated to say that name. But I listened to Trump and I listened to him say so many things about the fake news. And I'm like, this person is, you know, I feel like gaslighting all of us at this point in time. And I will text you guys. I thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'll include you on this.
Oh,
but-
I didn't put phone numbers. I just put our socials. No phone number either, too.
I'm sorry. But I appreciate it. But yeah, I'm just hearing so many different various things going on in the community right now. We're just kind of discouraged by the amount of crime going on. Thanks so much, guys. I appreciate you. Have a great day. But we're ending the show with our friends that were here, Lexi and Brad. That was a lot of information that they gave out on reparations. And I don't know how active a lot of us are in the community, or a lot of us are even with reparations being a topic. Because I'm like, most people think, oh, it's reparations. That means I get like a bankroll of free money or something like that. But we're still dealing with inequalities on the bare minimum aspect. And so I'm saying the bare minimum, like going to the doctor. Healthcare is one of the bare minimums that we get looked over and discarded over. Job opportunities, hiring practices, training, educationally wise. So all of these are at a discouraging and disparaging rate for us. So when you talk about reparations, I know reparations is a financial aspect,
Right.
but also if we're talking about reparations, and we need to be talking about reparations, we need to throw the whole system away and then just do it all over again.
Well,
Because what we got right now is not working for
Who
not working for
enough to
us.
step up and actually, you know, have some great, you know, material that instead of trying to be the leader and manipulate, I'm talking about so it can be spread it out so everybody can get in at the same time.
It's not necessarily
Because,
a who,
I
because
mean,
we don't even have a who of people put together yet.
It's a lot of destruction through programming and people just trained to just be, you know, blind, deaf, and dumb. You know, you got to reprogram the spirit and the
That's what I
mindset of
said.
people, because a lot of people naturally slaves. They don't know nothing but that. So to get that mindset out of them, because now you got our own people is beefing with each other and willing to take each other's life faster than the KKK today. So I'm like,
Man.
I don't understand how we can be asking for things and we ain't even got our sanity correct.
I mean, but
you know.
wait a minute, because now
Not everybody is struggling to the highest level, so
Right.
I'm not going to say
and
the whole culture
right,
of people.
and
So
we
I'm
can't even
just
say
saying,
in a we aspect, because this is my thing right here. We as a collective are no different than any other race.
Right.
So that's where I need people to get that understanding, is that we are not asking for anything different than any other race and what they've been getting naturally.
Right.
What we trying to do is get us to the naturally, get us to the level of where it's fair for everybody, and watch people's standards switch up. It has always been proven, if you get yourself out here in a better situation, if you get yourself out here around people who are actually moving and navigators, people, it really matters who you pick as your friends. It really matters who you choose to associate. Let's talk about that, because that's a whole nother aspect of young people that we could really talk about. And I'm not talking about young people. I'm talking about people in general. Because if your mind is still there, I don't care if you're 70 or 80 and you're still doing the exact same things. So we're talking about a shifting of the mind, but I'm just trying to get people on this regularity of situations, putting yourself or them allowing us, because this is the thing. We're not even allowed to excel to the level that we need to be, because we're always stagnant with the people that are in these positions and that have the authority to write off whether you get it or you don't get it. We're still going to them for any type of help and any type of support. I love what CU Reparations is trying to support people to do.
Right.
But my thing is, we're still asking for money that should have been allocated to us from the beginning.
Right.
We're still asking for permissions. I think what this society is so messed up on is the color barrier that we keep constantly allowing them
That's
to
the
do
distraction
to us.
to
That is.
address the real actual
That is.
point of being someone who persons or people that had problems mentally behind really looking at another species of the Most High as if they don't deserve to live
Right.
or have an existence
Right.
to be here.
How dare you?
When you know the truth, and that's what, you know, a lot of people don't want to face. Because when you got to really hear the truth on what's going on, not the sugar-coated version, because y'all still profiting and living off that high value of trauma and things and death and all the stuff that happened to a culture where they mentally still in a death mode.
Yeah.
So you can't even wake something up that's
Where you
always
put
been
them
living
at.
dead most of their life.
Right.
So
And we were forced in those conditions.
Right.
We were forced in this mindset. This has always been, and I don't know why people don't understand and see it for what it is.
Right.
When you put people at such a deficit that all they can do is think about survival, how do you think they are going to act?
Right.
If you put people in a situation like that.
And whatever it is, a strength coming from the same people that's struggling too. So you getting broken wisdom that ain't even fully put together to give you nowhere to go in a direction, because everybody following the same thing. You know, so it's probably maybe the cover up for that was probably just the engagement in the street life, and people use the so-called success as if that was the entrepreneur area that we need to stay maintaining on, because it's like a lot of people risking their life to maintain something that's already fallen and destroyed. You know what I'm saying? Because you already know that that's not going to bring you anything that's lasting for more than just, you know, a few seasons, you know, but you lose everything.
You'll lose everything.
You lose everything.
Yeah.
Your soul, you lose your family, you lose the dynamics of just community, because as you take
But you know what? That's the truth of that.
you take yourself away from people who knew you in the beginning, they never got to see any more growth from you. So when you come back to some people, either you highly elevated on another form of knowledge, or you the same way or below her. So eating now, and then you ain't gonna understand that, you know, as you grow, you're gonna have separation from people. All these things causes
Absolutely.
different, you know, changes that some of us don't be prepared for, because we used to trying to bring everybody with us. You know what I'm saying? Because we're afraid to take that step and to accept our growth on our own.
And that's what I just
You know,
said earlier.
Your
Like
growth, your
once you
blessings
start
for elevation
removing
is from the
people,
Most High to you. Be grateful and live in it. Because if you allow and stay around a dim or dark areas, they gonna steal your life. It's just how it go, because they ain't got no other way else to pull from.
and see, but that's my biggest complaint. Give me a second to cook with this.
Right.
That's the biggest complaint right now, because like I just said, if you're not ever put in a situation, if the greens or the projects is always outside your window.
Right.
If you're going to a school that can't afford to take you on a school trip to Washington, D.C.,
Right.
if you're in a home environment where the utilities might get cut off today, might be next week, but it's a consistent thing that happens, then this is how you build your mind. Your mind is always going to be in survival mode.
Right.
And this is what I'm explaining to the people that are listening.
Right.
Because I don't think that they hear reparations and they hear that it's one of those things where it's black people want money.
Right.
Right. And that was always my thing. Even though if we get money, it'll still never equivalent to the money and to the riches that you have if in the Caucasian community. So, or in the Middle Eastern community, it's still never. Hold on, just a second. Let me. I know. I said, hold on. Let me get this all the way out. Yeah, because I got to get it all the way out. So that's what I'm explaining to people. If you constantly keep people in this mindset, this mindset is the highlight. That's the top of the tier.
Right.
What kind of people do you think you're producing? You producing people who angry, who frustrated, who mad. Why am I doing this? Why am I going through this on every whim, but I can't get ahead in this? This makes no sense to me. I'm doing everything right. And like I said, that color factor where we have to fill out applications. If you put anything on there where the box checks off and says that it's black, denied, denial. You don't get that job. And you can't tell me they're not hiring on race and color, because I've been a product of seeing and watching my own standards, my own regulations, my own capabilities, my own standards, my own successes getting passed over and moved to a person that was not my color. Right. Who had less experience, less knowledge, less education than me. So I see it happen consistently. How do we get, like we were just talking about building up the society, how does that look for us to build up our society when we still got to go to these people for money?
Well, once again, once you have the knowledge and you make those correct steps to build whatever it is you build, and then you get there, and then you allow those ones that has more finance to come in and restructure your whole business, because you're not fully intelligent enough to stand on your own, because you gotta use them as a fake shield to cover, because you want to get away, and then they train you to be like them, and that's those people that get their brothers and sisters and treat their own brothers and sisters working for them and dealing with them just like they getting done by the outsider. And it's like, you train a lot of these brothers and sisters who do get they hands and feet in the door to turn on their own people and really go into these political positions and all these high seats and just straight forget us and sell us out, and then come back looking stupid when you get exposed, and we keep rehiring these dudes. I'm like, man, y'all ain't no good than them over there. You just got a skin tone to trick people, and that's not how we win. And we showing the results of those who really saying that they was out there doing that through the world, and watching how they allowing these systems that they so-called got position for to get away with murdering a black man, hanging him, hanging a young sister, shooting a 2-year-old, right? And it's by officials that you call it a law in the government, and everybody just cool with that. Right. I don't understand that. And y'all in there of power, and y'all ain't said nothing or stepped up to really show y'all got the Black Panther spirit still in y'all to know when y'all people being done wrong. Right. Y'all rather choose a check, you know what I'm saying, from the devil, that you knowing that he don't care nothing about you. And I ain't saying when you say the devil, you just talking about that whoever got a nasty spirit to hate anybody that's black. Because we don't hate nobody. Really, we don't. So I'm like, I just can't. You're dealing with the most. I tried to do some thought process to be like, what do we do? No. You know what I'm saying? For y'all to hate us that much. Right. We don't do nothing Y'all say we hurting each other. So if y'all don't care about us, why you care about us hurting each other? Because we creating a system for you to fake lock us up. You know what I'm saying? To go to your medicine places so you can put us on mental problem medicine. The stuff you give us making us worse than we ever was. Now we noticing these things. So when we notice these things and trying to address this stuff in a proper way, because if you hate some people that bad, why not separate? Yeah. Because the easiest thing, all right, this y'all part of the earth, man, we cool. We ain't gonna never come over here, and y'all don't never come over here. Because it's guaranteed you leave us alone, I guarantee we gonna give us the same what we need, our rights. Y'all enjoyed most of the stuff that our ancestors had anyway. But when we do need to build for ours, we should at least have that right to have industries that we own, not working for you, farms that we own, not buying your poison and stuff, y'all creating new fruits and stuff without the seeds, the waters. And then you say people begging here, but as I remember it, when the Most High created this earth, the food, the water, everything was free. Yeah. So for somebody to be able to just bag up everything on the earth and put it in stores, and you got to work and beg and whatever for food that the Most High gave was water. You done put cement and all the stuff in, you know, just to stop the waters and military around the water system. I'm like, ain't no way you can tell me that you good to make people work that hard and have to die for some food in a room, a house over their head, a roof over their head. Mm-hmm. Every day until you from soon you get to 18, 19, 20 till you 50, 60 until you to make it. And then these hospitals, come on now, y'all making us beg for some medicines that y'all trying to kill us with anyway. So what type of games is going on? I'm like, what is the decision that we need to make? So whatever the things that y'all like to do on an everyday time of just, you know, interrupting and causing chaos and stuff like that, that's not us. We don't go to no people's countries to cause trauma. We ain't dropping nothing on nobody. We ain't forcing nobody to do nothing. We just mess with each other. And that seems to be a problem. We already done got under the table. Well, we ain't even standing up like men no more. You know what I'm saying? We talking as if we ain't got no backbone to ourselves. You know? And that's so sad. You know, we go and look for other directions to put the focus on because we don't want to focus on the real problem.
And that's what we keep
and
circling back to.
What's boiling and building up right now, we don't know what is being planned because it's so quiet. It looks so, ain't nothing going on. All the streets is empty. If it's small towns, you might have a few sprinkles of people moving around. But you at risk. You're evenly planning, even though instead of planning the right things, it seemed like they really willing to do and implement all these law enforcement systems to come in and create a type of terror and stuff. And then the stuff going on, find out these people ain't even officers. You know what I'm saying? They just got masks on. They sell them badges at those armed dealer shops and different type of stuff. When you go in there and you be wondering, like, why do they sell that? Because I thought that supposed to only be for law enforcement and stuff. So it's truly, these are toys and material stuff that some of these people then mastered and used because, like I say, whatever the laws that was passed before when they was doing the slave patrol. You know what I'm saying? They were just hiring who was next up. And they ain't never stopped. Because it's always the next up that was brought and taught like that. And they come out here with the same spirit as the granddaddy. You know, just to get pulled over and to know that it's a possibility you might get approached by 6 officers for a traffic, man. Just because you got brown skin, you got something in your car. Then you pull them over, they got the AR-15 or Uzi, all that, with no gun car and been able to go home. They get pulled over with alcohol, drunk. I'm talking about officials like sergeants, captains. They get pulled over drinking, and lieutenants, and it's all, they just get moved over and still get paid.
Right. So,
I'm like,
I mean, that's society. We see it out every day now. You know, like the biggest push right now. So we just got through talking about reparations. We just had Lexi and Brad up in here.
Right.
My concentration right now is what does that look like for us? What does that look like as far as organization, as far as getting involved? And I'm really hopeful that when, you know, the end of the show comes today, by the time we get where we got to go today and do the things that we got to do, we're going to put this information up under these posts so that hopefully people will find their thing.
right.
You know, some people need to figure out what's next for them, and this is a huge situation where this could affect everybody that's in this community.
Right.
And that's the thing that we're really trying to get people to support,
Right.
is that reparations might be or whatever, you know what I'm saying, for the citizens of Champaign County. So what does that look like? And do we need to start preparing people right now for the win? Now I'm not saying win like W-I-N, even though it would be. I'm saying the win like W-H-E-N. When it comes, will we be ready? And that's the biggest thing. that I'm trying to get people to understand. Like right now, you're in a preparatory season. If you feel like you ain't got nothing to do, there's plenty to do. You cannot just sit there and expect life to keep going. It's not going to pass you by. You're just not going to get anything. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So you can sit you can sit at home, you can sit in the corner, but at the end of the day, you're still going to have to make a reaction. Either you're going to do a yes, or you're going to do something that everybody's like, no.
Right.
Either you're going to be a help to the community and your children and the families that need this service. People out here are really... We're getting to the cusp of where it's so hard to make it. I have not seen more kids and young people in 30 and 40 and 50, the homeless population, than I've seen them lately this week online asking for housing. You telling me in a city that got about 200,000 people in this mug on a consistent basis, especially when that campus gets full, you got about that many people in this community and y'all can't find housing, or the housing is so inadequate? So don't you think that this needs to be talked about amongst people in positions of power? I never understand, because let me tell you what I would do. If I was a property owner right now of a mega unit property, I would be doing something that would be beneficial for my people, because this is a cycle. And you know what? As a property owner, I feel like it is your responsibility to help your tenants move on to the next level. If you got a person that's in there with Social Security or that's in Veteran Affairs, they probably will still have an apartment or whatever, but they also too can be eligible to buy a home. So why is that not the push for this community? You can constantly have students coming in. You're going to make money. You're going to make that $1,925. You go make that $2,000 every single year. But I have not seen a big influx of people migrating from public housing or student housing into home ownership. So now you got to think about this all the way across the board. Why wouldn't you work with people that were in assisted living in the housing authority? Because I thought that's what the housing authority here did. I thought y'all provided case management, especially from my little time working there. I thought they were providing case management. Also, they were leading you into home ownership. Now you're talking about things that completely fall off, because this is what social services is. Social services is a hand up, what they say, right? Truthfully, it's a handout, because they give you this handout and then they work with you for that length of time just so you can get that handout, and then you're dropped. And this is the reason why we keep seeing the things, the recycle of the family going back in the system, the recycle of food stamps, the recycle of I need this, because you haven't prepared people for the next step in life. And this is the bulk of the Black community. It's not every Black person that I know, so don't come on here, don't come for me, don't send me nothing. But what I'm explaining is we gotta stick with each other to help each other go to the next level. And if you're not on that right now, don't be about nothing. Don't be in the community toting what you're doing, what you're saying. If you're not in that capacity where you can actually maneuver somebody onto another level. This is why we get on this platform. We get on this platform to talk about what's the next steps look like in our lives. What's the next step look like in your life? What do you want to do next? What can we do next? How do we prepare our children? Because at the end of the day, you and I ain't going to be here. And I'm talking to people online, I'm talking to everybody in the studio, I'm talking to people over the airways. You and I are not going to be here for the long duration. But if we're trying to prepare somebody for a 20 and 30 year advance, I'll be 80 years old in 30 years. You think I'm finna be out here talking on the radio to these people and talking to young people about transform your lives? The 80-year-old people looking at us right now are like, I know this ain't either.
Right.
They like, I know this ain't either, because they went through straight struggle. And then you got the audacity, people of color, who are really the people that are sitting up here doing whatever they're doing. And it's not only people of color, but I'm talking about my people, because that's my nationality. I'm a person of color. So I can only address what I know because I live this life. You know, Draper can only address what he knows because this has been our life. We wear this skin every single day. We're not going to be able to take it off. You know what I'm saying? So what do we do in the meanwhile? We sit up here, we go to visits, we talk to people, we communicate. But for the bulk of y'all who are out here, who are getting the grants and in the community, you don't want to work with people because there's no little you. You want to be the big dog, and I understand. Do I not understand? Yes, I do. You know, everybody wants their picture on the front page. Everybody wants to be in the paper, and I get it. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you've never been that type of person who got notoriety, if you've never been a person who photogenic. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But what I'm saying, but I'm just telling you, you can't be that type of person when you're out here trying to push a narrative to work together in peace with each other and see it build like it's supposed to.
Yeah, but a lot of people want to see their feet on your neck, so
Don't
they
they?
can just act like they control you or something, you know.
Yeah.
And nobody should want to have no leash on no men or woman
No.
when they can soar and be the best, you know.
They absolutely
If you can
can.
get them to their best, you think really, and they knowing it was genuine, that people really know and they appreciate it. You
And
just
they'll
can't,
continue.
you can't force and create what you feel that they owe you because you did a favor. If you was gonna put a tag on my assistance or whatever, I wouldn't even mess with you anyway.
Okay, it's
You know what I'm saying?
3:59. So, you know, we
Yeah,
finna
I
got to wrap
definitely
up.
appreciate everybody who came in and watched
Lexi
the
and
show.
Brad.
Lexi and Brad. Man, y'all appreciate y'all coming in, sharing y'all vision and what y'all on. Man,
Yes.
like I say, we just out here trying to network with all the communities: Decatur, Springfield, Danville, Champaign, Urbana. I mean, let's get to it because, like I
Please.
say, we might not got them all in one community, but if we pull and make the whole area our community, we can pick out, man, put together a real team that people that, you know, can't be compromised, and we on a mission trying to elevate the people mind and, you know, put them to a better place in life.
Absolutely. Okay, guys, it's 4:00. Thanks so much for tuning in to us this afternoon. I appreciate you for coming on live. And like I said before, tune back into us next Thursday at 3 p.m. We'll be here from 3 to 4. And like I said, everybody have a great afternoon. You've been on Live with Afternoons with Delight.
Well, once again, I appreciate y'all. You know,
Voice lost, another soul missing, never looking ahead. Never seen
showing up. I ain't think I see you. And we're gonna do it live, but we're gonna get some different topics, you know, on our personal time.
All right, guys. Appreciate y'all for even getting on.
I told y'all, let's do it. Let's go on this podcast joint and make a little something, man, so that people can hear some conversation, man. Let's talk about some things.
Right on.
And until the next time, man, I'll reach back out to y'all. Y'all have a good one. Bless.
Awesome sauce. You did it. Okay, so it's 4:00. Do we got anywhere to go? All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in to me. I appreciate it. I'll talk to y'all later. Okay, goodbye.